I figured my shit out already when I was 5 years old, okay? Heroin is really fun, but it can also kill you, okay? And Kelvin over here is a dark horse of society, not in a good way, my friend.
Fuck you!
He's not a dark horse.
Okay, let's talk about Mindy, meth face over here. Mindy enjoys wearing scrunchies. No one has addressed that.
Scrunchies? I've never worn a fucking scrunchie in my whole life.
You want to wear them, though.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back for season 3. This is Boys Watching Girls. We're just two boys watching HBO's Girls. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I'm Vance.
And boy, do we have an episode for you today. This is the first episode of season 3. Overall, it is episode number 21, but it's the first in season 3. The title is Females Only, directed by Lena Dunham, written by Lena Dunham, original air date January 12th, 2014. And Vance, this is the biggest viewership this show has gotten thus far.
Okay, there we go.
1.11 million viewers. First
Nice.
time over the million viewers threshold, so this must have been when it was like really kicking off. And I gotta tell you, Vance, I loved this episode.
Loved it. Wow. I didn't
this
I didn't
episode.
hate it. I didn't hate it. It was good.
If I'm being truthful with everybody listening, if I'm being truthful with you right now, Vance, those last couple episodes of season 2 were a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
They were tough. They were
Yes,
tough
they
to
were.
watch, tough to get through. I was upset about most of them. This episode, I was like immediately smiling. I loved this episode.
Okay. All right.
I thought
there
this
would be
was a
some
good
stuff.
one.
I thought there would be some stuff in here that will really drive you a little
I
crazy.
mean, there's still some stuff that drives me a little crazy, but I liked this episode. I think just those last couple episodes of season 2 just had me so down in the dumps and
Yeah.
upset. And it could be I have a Mountain Dew Baja Blast next to me. It could be the Baja Blast talking.
Are they
But I
sponsoring
really-
this podcast yet?
They better start. Taco Bell, get at me. But no, dude, I thought this was a really good episode in comparison to at least the last 4.
Well, I had high hopes for this episode based off of where they left things at the end of season 2.
Yeah. I
but-
remember being
yeah.
upset at the end of season 2. Just being like this. I remember distinctly being like, this is a rom-com where I don't want anybody that's together to be together.
Yeah.
But
Well,
now I feel better.
Well, I was happy for the reset that I knew what happened for season 3. Like everything
this-
was like in a new place. So I was like, at least we'll build to the stuff that we don't like in season.
Yeah.
Like we'll have to get
Yes.
to the end of season 3 to not like stuff. At the beginning, we'll be like, okay,
Yeah, I'm with you. This did feel like a good reset. And I'm like, I know a lot of people stopped. A lot of the people that I've talked to about this show, when I mentioned that we're doing this podcast, they say like, oh, I stopped watching after season 2.
no,
Like
Yeah.
I think that your wife said that she stopped watching after the ping pong.
yeah, which is like midway
episode.
through. Yeah,
My sister stopped watching after season 2. A couple other people that I talked to stopped watching after season 2. But if you pushed through, I thought this episode was really good, and I'm sure it gets cloudier and weirder
but
as we go.
yeah, I feel like well, people might have stopped watching it, but more people jumped on a bandwagon apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it almost doubled the viewership.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Shall we get into it? Who should we start off with?
Yeah, let's. I think we should do the opening montage as its own thing,
Yeah.
and then I think we can go into Shoshanna and then Marnie, kind of. No, Shoshanna
Yeah.
and then maybe Jessa, and then Marnie kind of bleeds into the end dinner
Yeah.
sequence thing. So
Okay. That works. So this season starts off very similarly to the last season.
and the season before, every season
Yeah.
starts with Hannah in bed with someone.
Yeah. she was in bed with Marnie.
She was in bed with
first
Marnie.
Season.
Then Elijah.
Second season, she was in bed with Elijah. This season, she's in bed with Adam. It pans up to see them cuddling. It's all cutesy and nice, and they're just happy being together.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
Yeah, I've seen this before, though.
Yeah.
So I'm so scared. I'm like, okay, sure, Adam, sure. But yeah, he's giving her medication, and she's
giving her meds. She's taking them, which is good.
Her haircut is like trimmed up, you know.
Yeah, her haircut doesn't look as bad.
Yeah.
Adam it seems like he's taking care of her. Like, she seems a lot more stable now that Adam is there, which is great. Because a lot of the complaints that I heard about season 2 were that a lot of people didn't like the OCD. I don't know if it's an accurate portrayal or if people that were watching it just were annoyed with it, but I know a lot of people that didn't enjoy that aspect of season 2.
Yeah, and it seems like we're just going to kind of be past it enough that she's going to be medicated, so it won't be like something that comes up every single episode. I kind of like that she's back on the track of being the weird Hannah that she is.
Yeah.
Like, I never liked her having the crutch of the mental illness. Just for the show purposes.
I didn't realize how much I liked her general weirdness.
Yeah.
Until she started to like do the counting OCD stuff. And then I was like, man, this is tough to watch.
Yeah.
Because, OCD, like when you have it like that, it's a crippling disorder.
Absolutely.
And it's tough to watch. So now that she's like taking it seriously and finally admitting that she has a problem, she's taking her medicine. I guess it took Adam to tell her that.
Yeah, if you have OCD, if you're a woman out there with OCD, just get a man and it'll cure. Get some medication and a man, and it'll cure all your problems. The lesson of every rom-com. The lesson of every rom-com.
I guess that is kind of fucked up that it took like a man savior to get her to realize her problem.
Not supportive parents. No, they don't help. You need a man.
So yeah, it looks like Hannah's doing better.
Yeah,
her haircut's not as bad. Her outfits are still terrible, but we'll get into that.
I think that's part of the
that's just
the fun of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So next up in the opening montage is Marnie, who's asleep on a couch in some fancy apartment. I had no idea.
She's got
what was going on.
She's got rainbow bright blankets, which have to be like her childhood, like blankets or something. Because that's an old reference.
I was very confused as to what was going on because I thought that she was in Charlie's apartment. I was like, why would Charlie have that?
I was really confused too because they just show her on the couch, like sleeping.
Sleeping alone.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this Charlie's apartment? Because at the end of season 2, they were back together. They were a happy couple.
They're walking arm in arm.
Walking arm in arm, and then I just assumed like, oh, she's waking up, but why is she sleeping on the couch alone? Mm-hmm. This is odd. Yeah. And then that was a really quick.
Yeah, that was it, right?
That was it. She wakes up, she rolls over, she's in a like nice apartment, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here, which we'll reveal later. Next up is Shoshanna, who is on the top bunk with a random college guy. So it looks like you were correct, Vance. It looks like she just wants to go out and get her fuck on.
That's what she's like. She says it like clear as day later in the episode, but she has to do that. She has to.
I remember us having a little bit of a disagreement in the last episode, but it looks like she's just.
And I'll say in your defense of the last episode, the stuff that she was saying about Ray was correct. I just think I just think she was using those as an excuse to not admit to the full-on thing, which is she just wants to have her sexual renaissance right now.
Yeah, she wants to get around a little bit, which is totally cool.
Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. She's what, 21, 22?
Yeah. A little funny because you don't really see the reveal that she's on the top bunk until later, and there's a roommate beneath her.
And she has to try and climb down.
She has to climb down. She's topless.
The walk of no shame for Shoshanna.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No shame in that.
And then an even bigger reveal.
Oh, jeez.
And I predicted in the last episode that I thought that Jessa was in jail. I believe that was my prediction. I was wrong, but this is just as good to me.
Yeah, I can't even remember what I predicted, but whatever. It was wrong.
I think we went back and forth.
Yeah.
Jessa's washing dishes in a place, and it turns out she's in rehab.
Yeah.
Which is, when I saw that, I was like, yes, all right, we'll get to learn something about this chick. We'll see what's going on. And not really.
Don't you find it interesting that we've seen Adam in AA and Jessa in rehab, and we've never seen them drink or use a drug? Like all the times that...
No, Adam drank in the last episode.
But it was after we saw him in AA.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we've
we
never
never
seen
see
Jessa.
anybody's downfall to force them into this, except for, like, Hannah.
Well, Adam never really had one. He was just like, he saw Hannah and they felt unstable about it, so he went back.
Yeah.
And then he started drinking again.
But there's nothing to imply that Jessa started using heroin again and went back to rehab.
Yeah, we've seen Jessa drink, but I've never seen her like do any drugs like that.
No, even when the crack accident, she's not like, oh, give me some of that crack. She's just like, oh, my cousin's messed up.
Yeah,
and I don't care.
So, in my notes, I wrote Jessa in prison because I couldn't really tell where she was.
You think they have her doing the dishes like that in prison?
I don't know. I had no idea. I've never been to prison. And then the next note is Jessa in rehab! !
Yeah.
So, who are we getting into first? Shoshanna, because there's not much to go there.
Yeah. Let's just do Shoshanna real quick because that's really short.
Yeah, there's not much going on. Shoshanna, so we see her waking up with some random college guy, and then later on she's talking to...
No, she's at the library, and she's like...
She's at the library.
Asleep.
She's falling asleep because she's out hoeing it up so much. Good for her. And then the next time we see her, she's at Hannah's having a little get-together.
Yeah, and we'll dive into that when we get to that get-together. We'll talk about that whole scene. But that's literally the last time we see her. She's at that
as per
party.
usual, not much Shoshanna in this episode, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, because when we got exposed to more Shoshanna, it was kind of like, ooh, this is grating. It's I thought it was just the right amount for what the story they were telling, and considering Jessa hasn't been in they needed to address
episodes.
They needed to address some of Jessa's shit going on.
Yeah.
And which is what we're gonna do right now.
Yeah, I am really interested to hear what you think about Jessa in this.
Oh, she's still a huge douche. She is in rehab, right? Okay, this is the timeline of my notes. I wrote Jessa in prison, ? Jessa in rehab, ! Then next is Jessa is still a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, she is still the worst person.
So bad. So terrible.
I did write down, is she going to be a therapist at one point?
Oh, maybe. Oh, no. Yeah. So Jessa's in rehab. They're doing the whole everyone's sitting in a circle sharing their stories thing. And it's a guy named, I think it's Calvin. He's sharing his story about how he basically is like, you can never go home, and everything is changing in his old neighborhood, and he wishes things would stay the same, and whatever.
Yeah.
And then Jessa basically starts laughing at him and being like, you're such a whiny little bitch, basically. She's like, dude, you're crying because a froyo place opened in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, big fucking deal. Like, you're crying about this is not a big deal at all. Like, stop being such a whiny little asshole. And then some other lady calls Jessa a bitch And everyone in the group agrees. And that's the part where I was like, yes, all right.
I was like, okay, maybe something will get through to her, because that's...
Yes, because no one in this show has called her a bitch except for like guys that she's like been fucking or something.
Or like the people she almost killed at that party.
And it's like, it's easy for her to dismiss that. But if she's in a rehab situation and the consensus of the entire group was like, you're an asshole and you suck, I was like, maybe this will get through to her something. Yeah. Maybe this will help her grow as a character. And I was so happy when everybody was just like, no, I hate you. I don't like you. Yeah. You're not helpful in this group discussion. And I don't think that you should be here. And like, you're damaging to all of it. I was so happy about this.
Yeah.
So then she has a meeting with, I guess, her head sponsor or something.
There's some other stuff in that scene.
Okay, go for it.
Where she claims that she doesn't have her dad's number. Like, they want her to speak out, and she's like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to talk about how I don't have my dad's number and how like my mom can't do this and that?" And
she's basically belittling everyone's experience and not taking it seriously
and not talking about her own. And she also calls the woman that calls her a bitch. She says, "You wear scrunchies all the time."
Yeah, and the woman's like, I've never worn a scrunchie. She's like, yeah, but you want to.
And I was like, what is this? Like, what are you doing, Jessa? Like, you want to.
I was just so happy that everybody turned on her, like, immediately in this scene. I was so happy about that.
And it wasn't unprovoked turning on her. She was being awful.
Yeah, she was being the worst. She's just belittling the entire experience of everyone there and downplaying the importance that everyone in this rehab shit is like going through and not taking it seriously.
Even though the guy, what he's talking about does, what she says about him is like kind of true, but you just can't do it in that setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, somebody calls her out on that later on with like a good quote. But basically everybody turns on her, and then she is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, that was just it. And
so then she meets up with, I guess, her main sponsor person, I guess, her main counselor. I don't know the term for it, but she's giving her a talking to, being like, you're disrupting everything, you're ruining everyone's experience, and you're not allowed to talk to males or something, because she's wearing a females only sign.
Yeah, title of the episode.
Females only.
I guess she can't. Yeah, I don't know what it meant, females only, because there's a guy in the group that there's guys around that she's with. Even later, she talks to this guy, and I'm like, I don't know what the females only sign meant, because it was never like she was sectioned off.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to be like she's only in a women's meeting now, but later on in the next scene, she's still with everybody in the group, and there's men around, and I guess it meant that she could only speak to women, or only women could speak to her or something.
But then she's with that guy smoking cigarettes later.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, but yeah. So next scene we see with Jessa, she is in the group setting again with her females only sign. And it's all the same people, and it's a lady named Laura who's telling her story about how, she was a victim of molestation, I guess, and that she uses that as an excuse to use drugs. And she feels weak about it, and blah, blah, blah. And then Jessa shoots her hand up to address.
Jessa tells her that. Jessa tells her that she uses her uncle's. Jessa's the one who says that she's using her uncle's molestation as an
like an excuse to use drugs.
Which I was like, whoa. Like,
yeah, that's what I was like, dude, you're fucking
or not
doing this?
Because I remember we were talking in a couple episodes, like, where Hannah off the cuff mentions possibly being molested, and then Jessa, last episode we saw her and she was like, oh yeah, I got molested in school, maybe, I don't know, I could have been, and it was just like, it's so flippant, the molestation references, So yeah, and she definitely contradicts herself later in this episode with this statement. Like the end of the episode, episode contradicts like Jessa's like, even if this girl Laura is using, it's hard to like say someone's using that as an excuse for drug use, because if there's any reason to start using drugs, it might be that.
Everything that Jessa does is contradictory. Like nothing that she does makes sense. And I was like so happy because like as soon as she like says that this girl's using her uncle's molestation to use drugs, then she's like, when we all know that you're a lesbian. And then the lady's like, what? And everybody in the thing is like, what are you fucking talking about? No. She's like, yeah, you're totally a lesbian. I mean, look at your vest. And I was like, God damn, dude. Like, this is...
And then she's talking about how you didn't want to have sex with your boyfriend or something. Like, she brings up all this other stuff.
She hated getting fucked by her uncle, which is like, yeah, she got molested. Yeah, dude.
That shouldn't be like, you should want that.
Then she was saying that she hated having sex with her boyfriend. And then Jessa goes, and plus, look at your vest. And which... the vest wasn't the worst part to me. It was like the turtleneck she had underneath with like all the peace signs on it. I was like, that's a terrible shirt. But I wouldn't be like, look at you, you're a lesbian.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
especially when someone's like exposing themselves emotionally like that. So then everybody is just like, shut the fuck up, Jessa. I think that Laura throws coffee in Jessa's face.
Yeah.
Which I was like, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. This is what needs to be happening.
Yeah.
And then Jessa's just sitting there kind of shocked. And she's like, can somebody pass me a napkin? And somebody goes, no.
Don't do it. Before we got to this scene, though, when she's talking to her counselor, the counselor mentions that she's only in rehab. Or Jessa mentions she's only in rehab because her grandmother is paying for it.
Yeah, because her grandmother wants her to for 60 days, and if she goes through the 60 days, she'll buy her a plane ticket, something else, and a pair of Uggs.
Yeah.
They're from Australia.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, is this when they first came onto the scene? It's like being big? Yeah, I don't know.
2014? I feel like they were big before that.
Yeah. Like, to the point where you wouldn't have to say, oh, they're from Australia.
Yeah, I graduated college in 2011, and they were all over the place before then.
But it's definitely a good way to product place without product placing, you know?
I guess.
If that's what it is.
I wouldn't want my product placed on Jessa's feet.
You got 1.1 million views.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, dude, when she got coffee thrown on her, I was like, fucking right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone was basically like, you're ruining this. We don't want her to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel comfortable sharing my experience. And I was like, great. Yeah. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that next for Jessa, she's smoking cigarettes with the guy.
Yeah, it's that actor Richard E. Grant. He was in most recent thing I can recall him being in was that Melissa McCarthy movie, Can You Ever Forgive Me, where she's like forging books.
Oh man,
it was like
one of her serious roles.
Yeah, it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah. So they're having cigarettes, and I wrote down Jessa bonds with a bad boy. Because this guy, he's like a bad boy. He's also got an accent, and they make a joke about how they like get away with being assholes because they have a smart sounding accent.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically tells her that she has daddy issues, and she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, yes, you fucking do. Everybody's got daddy issues.
Yeah.
It's like your dad has daddy issues, and he needs to address his daddy issues, and his dad needs to address his daddy issues. And he's like, and it keeps going back and back and back. He's like, don't fucking act like you're not like scarred. And she said something about like, yeah, I've had fun. He goes, it wasn't always fun, was it? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, good. Fucking somebody needs to talk to this girl.
And I'm like, who is this guy? He's just some
dude. He wasn't in the episode at all until this point.
No, like, there's no like lead. Yeah. He's not in that circle group. Like, I don't know what group he's in. I don't know where they are. Is she in his room?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. He might not even be a real person. That would be my favorite. If he was just
a figment of her imagination.
Yeah.
Because she's still on heroin and she's just seeing shit.
Yep.
But he basically tells her, I don't have the exact quote written down to you about honesty.
Well, he said something about, like, you got to know when to be honest. Like, she's just like calling people out, and it's not the right place. And that's basically what he's saying. Like, you have to pick and choose when you say stuff.
Yeah, he says something like there's different types of honesty. There's honesty with integrity, and then there's honesty, misplaced honesty.
Yeah.
Which is like, she doesn't know the difference. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you need to learn that difference.
Oh, my God. If she could learn that lesson, then I don't think we have a show with her.
Yeah, no, she doesn't need to be in the show anymore.
You can't have that dinner scene with her and Thomas John's parents if she knows not to say stuff.
I would love if she does learn from that, though, because then that would show growth as a character, which she has not done.
We still got 4 seasons of this, so she can't grow that much.
Dude, thus far, we're 3 seasons in. She's still an asshole.
We're two in an episode in. And she wasn't even in most of it. Also, characters in TV shows is a recent thing that they grow.
Yeah, I guess.
Characters normally never change. And, like, you watch a Seinfeld or Friends, they don't change. They just stay the same character the whole time. Like, these are sitcoms, but still, like, drama stuff happen, but people stay the same.
Yeah. So, after that guy gives her a talking to, which I loved. I thought that was a great scene. Mm-hmm. Because it shows that she like, when she said it wasn't always fun, I was like, okay, she's starting to, like, the chink in the armor, she's starting to break.
For me, I've seen this with Jessa too many times, where it's like, oh yeah, she's just a wounded bird soul, you know?
Yeah, but then she just goes on not sharing.
Yeah.
Until after this talking to with the cigarette guy, she goes to Laura's dorm, I guess. Would they call it? Laura's room, the girl that she called a lesbian. Mm-hmm. She comes up to her and she's like, hey, I would like to apologize to you. And Laura's just kind of like, whatever. Like, she's not really hearing it.
Did you know what was going to happen soon as she got on the bed?
Yes.
Okay.
I know exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. And it made me sick.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not ready for it. And it's not even like a bad thing that necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just...
So she starts, like, confiding with Laura, being like, hey, you know, it sucks that you... Dude, her apologies is, like, horrible. Like, the way that she words stuff is, like, terrible. She's like, I'm sorry that you got fucked by your uncle.
just forward.
Just
yeah.
So she's basically apologizing and saying, like, hey, I had a creepy uncle too. When I was 5, he told me that he was gay and that he had AIDS. And then Laura was like, did you even know what that was? And she's like, yeah, I guess somehow I did. I knew that it was serious, but, like, we're all fucked up and it's all crazy. And then Laura just goes, you know what? I am a lesbian. And I was like, oh, fuck you.
I knew she was going to be a lesbian. Like, the thing that Jessa has been good at is calling, like, she can read people.
See,
like,
I hated that.
I knew that was going to happen. That's why I wrote, is Jessa going to be a therapist? Is this going to be, like, her thing? And she's like, oh, maybe I can use my honest reading people gift for something, you know? Like...
That'd be nice.
Because she called out, like, I mean, the stuff that she's calling people out on isn't necessarily wrong. Or, like, not is incorrect. It's just you don't do it.
Yeah, the way that she does it is just not right.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, that. As soon as, like, the girl, like, was like, what are you talking about? And threw the coffee in, I was like, oh, she's obviously a lesbian.
Yeah. So the girl's like, yeah, you know what? I am a lesbian, I think. And then Jessa basically suggests, like, well, maybe that's why you turn to drugs, is because you're not living your honest, true self, and you're turning to something to make, like, the pain go away or whatever.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, yeah, maybe you're right. And then Jessa goes, have you ever even kissed a girl before? And this is when my eyes rolled so hard. I was like, no.
I mean, I was just waiting for the whole scene to get to this. Like, I didn't need to hear them talk about the rest of the stuff. And then they, like, cut away. And then we go back.
Cut back. And Jessa's fucking face deep in some Laura pussy.
Yeah, she is. She is
going smooching that cooch, dude. Smooching that cooch.
And then like 3 random guys open the door.
Yeah, I didn't see those guys in this episode before at all.
It was like, who's around on set? You 3 guys. Open, put them in wardrobe. Open the door. And you're like, this is going to get written up or something.
This is going into the log. That's what they said.
And I was just like, wait, this isn't like a sex addict clinic. Like, why is this not like?
Also, they lingered in that doorway way too long.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a oh no, walk away. They stood there.
Yeah, that was some Charlie walking into the bathroom shit. Like, that was like they stood there and they watched for like a good 5 seconds.
Was it just so we had a moment where we thought, oh, they might just actually join in or something? Like, what was happening? Like, they were at the door for a while.
They were at that door for a very long time.
And I've never been to Rehab. And I don't know if sex is completely off limits at a place like that. But anytime you put people in a confined space, sex could possibly happen.
Also, why did they just bust in?
Yeah, she wasn't like making crazy sounds either.
Yeah, like why did 3 of them need to bust in?
Yeah.
And like,
why not just have it be the guy that was the mediator in the roundtables coming? I don't know the production logistics of when.
Also, what if she was just masturbating?
Yeah.
Like she can moan. Like what? I didn't get that at all. Like I guess it was just for a joke.
Or just for yeah.
Or just to like tattletale on Jessa to her counselor.
I'm surprised Jessa didn't just go females only and hold up the sign that was around her neck.
That would have been funny.
That would have been classic. That would have been
pretty funny.
Yeah. But anyway, then we go to her getting basically kicked out.
Yeah, the counselor's basically like, you have any idea what your actions do, like not only to yourself but to other people? You fucked up this girl Laura's, I guess, coming out.
Yeah, but she got a chance to kiss a girl and get like Laura won in that situation.
I guess, yeah.
Like,
and Jessa said something like, "You're kicking me out because I ate fat Laura's pussy" or something.
Is that what
she Jesus.
said? Oh my god.
She said she definitely called Laura fat.
Oh my god, I didn't notice.
And I
that.
was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like,
you see what I'm saying?
Tact.
Like, anytime you get like a Jessa redemption or feel good, or like when they try to redact her and make you like be like, okay, she just misunderstood. She goes and does something like that.
Yeah. So then the counselor lady is like, well, you know what? I hope you're happy because you're getting what you wanted. I'm kicking you out. Like, you can't be here.
Yeah.
And then Jessa just kind of walks out.
Jessa looks like she's so sad and hurt by this at this point.
She's not getting those Uggs now.
Yeah. Like, you weren't here to help. You were here to just get a plane ticket and some Uggs and some money. Yeah. A plane. I don't even know where she is and, like, where the plane ticket would be to. Like,
I don't... Yeah, she didn't say a plane ticket to anywhere in particular. It's like, is she going back home to
how many more days?
I don't know where.
How many more days did she have? How many more days did she have? Like, how long has she been in this place?
Yeah, I mean, she said that she needed to do 60 days.
Yeah, but we don't know.
I don't know how long since the last episode of season 2 between this episode, because a lot has happened.
No, but I mean, not even that. The last time we saw her was when she went home and abandoned Hannah. So she's been gone for like 3 episodes. So we don't know how much, if she went directly there or whatever happened. I don't know.
Regardless, this is going to sound crazy for me to say, but I was happy that Jessa was back and getting called out on her bullshit.
Ooh, interesting.
I was happy that people were calling her out on her bullshit. I'm very unhappy that it seems like she didn't learn anything.
She's not. Yeah. I remember when I ranked the end of season 2, and I had Jessa at number 2 in my ranking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's a complicated person. That's all I can say. Yeah. It's an interesting character. I just can't find something to latch on with her that I can that I can be like, okay, you can keep messing up, but I still get you enough.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, there's no redeemable quality, I feel like.
And I just like,
aside from her like soothsaying, truth-sayer, I know people better than they know themselves bullshit.
And she can look sad. She can act like sad and look. She does have that sad puppy dog eye look at times where you're like, oh, and you're like, I guess I should feel sorry for her, but her getting kicked out of rehab was well overdue. She should have been kicked out when she called the girl out, not because she ate her up. You know, like that shouldn't have been the last straw.
Yeah, man. I don't know, but I like this. I liked seeing her get called out. I wish she would have learned something. Hopefully the call-outs continue. Hopefully she does have like a change of character as we go forward. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Should we just go to that last scene? With her? With the phone call. Let's just go to that. Because I don't think we don't really need anything.
It doesn't
else.
Really impact.
Yeah.
So the last scene of the episode.
Yeah. This is where her contradiction kicked in for me, because she calls out Laura about using her uncle's molestation as an excuse for drug use or whatever, and then she, at the end of the episode, Jessa calls Hannah
from an unknown number,
calls her. Hannah's livid. She's ready to like go in and just unleash all of her feelings on her, and then
as she should,
and then Jessa does, I'm calling from rehab, using rehab as that like crutch that you can't be yelled at about, you know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden Hannah's like, oh, that's so good for you, you know, like it changes her tone completely, and she uses rehab as a get out of jail free card with Hannah. And she's using that as a crutch the same way she's accusing someone of being molested of using that as a crutch. I'm like, you just use rehab to like crawl back to your friend that you abandoned,
to excuse your shitty behavior. Didn't even apologize to her.
No.
Like, to start. She didn't even like, Hannah, I'm very sorry. I was going through something really tough. I'm in rehab right now.
It's like, no, Hannah, you're being mean. I'm in rehab. Don't treat me like this. And it's like, that's the stuff I don't like. I don't like. That's why I didn't like the rehab for that, and like some of Hannah's OCD stuff, because then it gives you like, you can't judge their actions fairly, because it's like, oh no, she's in rehab. Oh no, she has like a mental illness. So whatever she does now is a freebie. Like, get rid of that so we can be like, oh, I don't know if I like what she did or did do. And you can judge it, but so I don't like. I didn't like that part, but
so Jessa's like, I'm at rehab, and Hannah's like, oh, that's so good for you. You should probably do that because you're fucked up. And then Jessa's like, well, I need you to pick me up because I'm out of rehab now.
Yeah.
And Hannah's like, how do I get a rent-a-car?
How old do you have to be to rent a car, Adam? And he's like,
and that's basically the end of the episode.
Yeah. And that's the end of the podcast, everybody.
Let's just skip the two major characters.
If you only tuned in for Jessa, you can like stop now.
I know. Who would ever do that?
There's people.
Yeah, that's true.
There's Jessa stands. All right,
I talked to my sister about this show over the weekend, and she was saying that she liked Jessa, and I was like, I disown you.
I got a long text chain from a friend of mine who, while she like has issues with the show, was very defensive of the Another Man's Trash episode. Like, she agreed with some of the stuff we said, but then like was trying to like go into detail about how certain things were supposed to be portrayed. So it was like, it was just one of those, you know. People, it's a show that there's a lot to say about.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have opinions that you would like to bring up to us, you can email us at BoysWatchingGirlsPodcast@gmail.com. We have that email. We read the emails.
Yeah.
Sometimes even
tweet
respond
us. Hit us up on social media. You know, do whatever you want to do if you want to talk about the show. But let's dive into
Marnie.
We got to do Marnie. Oh, God.
Yeah, dude. We still got two characters.
Oh, Marnie's quick, though. Marnie's quick,
Marnie's
and then we can
quick.
get into the whole Hannah thing. All right.
Yeah, we can bang out Marnie.
We can do this. We're going to try, guys. We're going to try.
Keep this. We're trying to keep these episodes shorter, but there's no way.
We're
This is a
fighting.
22-minute show, and we talk for like an hour and a half.
We've been talking for like
fucking
40 minutes and well, like only half the episode.
Yeah, dude. All right, Marnie. So I thought that she was in Charlie's apartment. Turns out at her mom's apartment or house or whatever, wherever her mom lives.
Yeah. Rita Wilson, back again.
Yeah, thank God. Her mom lectures Marnie about being a weak-ass little bitch, basically. And her mom is just like, why are you like this? Like, you need to get your life together.
Yeah.
And Marnie's like, I am getting my life together. And her mom goes on some rant about how she gave her middle name, which is Marie, because that was her grandmother's grandmother's name, and that symbolizes strength. And then Marnie's like, you realize that my name and my middle name are like one letter apart, and it's weird. It's Marnie Marie. And I was like, that's not that weird.
That is insane though. Why would you just not name her Marie? Why name her Marnie? Like, why name her Marnie if her middle name's going to be Marie?
Also, Marnie, to me, just sounds like a dumb name.
Marnie's interesting. I will say it stands out as a character name in a show, but it's an old name. Like, I would think Marnie would be her middle name and Marie would be her first name.
When I think of Marnie, I just think of Barney, the dinosaur, for some reason, and it's just
Because
like I
it
can't take up.
rhymes?
Yeah, basically the only reason. I don't know, that it's just within me. Marnie
Okay.
sounds too bouncy. I couldn't take anyone named Marnie seriously. However, I did get a hand job from a girl named Marnie one time, which was awesome.
And you didn't take it seriously.
Yeah, no. It happened in my childhood bedroom in Baltimore when my parents were away at some
Oh my
point or
God,
something.
Joe's molestation story is coming.
No, this chick was pretty hot.
This is not
Back
your
in
therapy.
Baltimore.
This is not your therapy session.
Shout out Marnie. Slide in my DMs on Instagram or something if you're
my
listening
God.
to this.
What is this podcast now?
I don't know. But her mom's yelling at her, which was great. I thought it was great. Her mom needs to yell at her some more. And Marnie's basically like, I am getting my life together. I'm about to get a new apartment. I have a new job that people take me seriously at. And I was like, what job are you fucking talking about? The last we saw of you, you're working as a hostess and you have to wear like a weird
Again, I was
lederhosen.
so confused at how much time had passed in this
Same.
whole world.
Yeah, because did she move out of Shoshanna's? I was about to call her Rosanna. Shoshanna's apartment, and now she's staying with her mom? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I guess.
The time lapse is just like...
Well, it's fine to change some stuff up, but like her life has changed so dramatically more than what we left off of.
Well,
Like,
the thing
it's
is,
like,
like, Hannah's...
it's like, why did we even do what we did the last few episodes with her?
Hannah's story seems to pick up right where season 2 left off. Like, it seems like,
Same with
maybe
Shoshanna.
a couple days. Yeah, Shoshanna too.
Yeah.
But Marnie seems like it's been months.
Or a week, and who knows? But anyway, she's living with her mom. Mom's like, get over this guy. We haven't even officially... This is how we find out that she's kind of broken up with Charlie.
Yeah,
Like-
her mom is basically like, who gives a fuck? Guys fuck you over all the time. This isn't going to be the first guy to fuck you over. This isn't going to be the last guy to fuck you over. And it's like, I don't know why you're so hung up on him. It's not like it's Liam Hemsworth or
Yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Or I forget the third
She said
name.
like Chad Michael Scott or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Chad Michael
But-
Vincent or something like that.
Yeah.
My thing was like, Shoshanna is seemingly handling being in a real relationship and getting out of it it's somewhat destructive because she's not finding the right balance like she claims she is of like just partying and studying. Like she wants the Sex and the City experience of having it all kind of thing, you know, having the like wild experiences and still like achieving the New York woman business future, like, you know, aspirations of actual like academics and getting a job and stuff. But Marnie has like, I guess the art curating thing that we saw her with in the beginning wasn't what her dream really was. I don't know why she was working in art galleries. Then she claimed she wanted to sing, which was...
Yeah, what happened to that? That plot has been
I don't know if
dropped.
that's ever coming back. And then it was like, why? And she only went to Charlie because of he became successful again.
Yeah.
Because the episode before she goes to see Charlie, she's like, why has he got everything? I thought he was going to be a loser for 6 months. And now all of a sudden you're like, that's who you want to be with? Like, because now he's successful. Like it's just like it's Charlie. It's like just date someone else.
I feel like
just date someone else.
The last entire season has been Marnie trying to convince everyone around her that she's got her life together, and she doesn't, and she's just spiraling.
But it's also like, why are you obsessed with Charlie when the series opened with you like, I don't even know if I like him.
Yeah, throughout the entire series, even like after he became super successful, she was still like, that guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like, what? Then why do you like him so much? Like, all you do is trash him.
And this is the thing I don't get. How would Charlie, from what we saw in the last episode, how would he even break up with her? Like, he was so spineless. Like, there was like moments where I was like, dude, walk away. She just made a scene in this restaurant. She just came to your work. She barged into your work the first time. Then she came back later and sang. She
came to a work party and sang like everybody knew who she was. Yeah, it was so embarrassing.
She was like serenading him like
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy.
Happy birthday, Mr. President of the
Charlie. Well, if you came here for a Marilyn Monroe impression, you got two of them.
Two bad ones.
Yeah.
Do you think Charlie uses his app to not call her?
Oh, well, he said that she was the beginning, the reason why it started. So now
how do you go to work? How do you go to work every day knowing that the reason your app exists is because of this girl that you're dating?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's a reminder every day of why you shouldn't be with her. Anyway, she goes back. So we're done with her and her mom, right? Is there anything left there?
Yeah. The next thing we see is her waiting by the bus stop to go to work, which fucking huge, nothing but big reveals in this episode.
Where is she waiting for a bus? Like, what part of town is she in? Is she in Long Island?
It looks like her mom, like, Long Island. That's what I would have guessed.
Yeah, it seemed like she was mentioning like, oh, I have a fulfilling job in a city, which means she's like not even in Brooklyn or Manhattan.
So I was still like, what are you talking about? What fulfilling job? You work as a hostess at a restaurant or a club or whatever, which
can have to be fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely, but not by Marnie's standards. I feel like she didn't feel like that was a fulfilling job, and she was just lying to herself. But no, lo and behold, Marnie's got a new job. Guess where she's working? She's working at fucking Grumpy's.
Yeah. Which is Grumpy's? Which Grumpy's is this the new Grumpy's that he's running?
I think it is the new Grumpy's.
I wasn't sure if they just lost the like production lease on the other one, and they just like were like, who cares? We'll just make this new one Grumpy's. Because I don't know why Hannah is also working there. So we see.
Yeah, Hannah's back to working at Grumpy's for some reason.
It's like, Ray, you got a new job, and you're gonna risk it all with these two girls.
That's why Ray is the most likable character in this show. Like, he gives the people around him like opportunities, and he like looks out for people, and he's honest. But like, why would you fucking do this?
I love the idea of Shoshanna being like, Ray doesn't have his life together, yet he employs two of her friends. You know what I mean? He's like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, come on.
Ray is the fucking man, dude. It's fucking. He's got all of these scrubs working for him. He's the nicest person.
I mean, he had his dark moments for early seasons, but he calls it like he sees it, but he times it well.
He's trying to figure it out, obviously. Yeah. Like,
But no, I'm happy he's still in this show.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like Ray a lot.
There's another Marnie scene later, but we'll do that once. Let's do Hannah and get to the dinner party, and then marry that all together.
Okay,
right?
yeah, and then marry all of it. Yeah. Okay. So, you want to take the lead on Hannah? I feel like my mouth's getting a little dry. I gotta wet my whistle with some Baja Blast.
All right, the check is rolling in. So when we see Hannah, she I think the first time we see her, she's at Grumpy's with the new Grumpy's with Ray. And And what are they talking about at the beginning?
She's trying to convince Ray to come to her dinner party.
Okay, yeah. And he doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to run into Shoshanna. And she's like, oh, that's so sad. And he's like, why? Like, that we shared some intimacy and now we try to stay apart from each other. And he also mentions it's New York, so you can avoid seeing people that you don't want to see.
Ray, once again, making the most sense.
Yeah, why? He was at the last party where he was outed for being homeless, and Charlie had to deal with Audrey and Marnie. That was the last dinner party he was at, I feel like, at their house. Why? Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to go there and make this more awkward.
Ray, also the smartest character.
Yeah. He's got the age wisdom.
Yeah.
So she's trying to convince him to go, and she's like, whatever. And then Adam comes in, looking cleaned up. He's got a jacket
Adam's
on.
Looking good.
He looks pretty put together. And then it's a great moment.
I love this scene.
Okay.
I love this scene.
He looks over and he sees Natalia, who I didn't think we'd ever see again. But she's sitting over there and he's trying to like look away. He has to come in because he dropped his keys down a storm grate or something.
Yeah. And he needs to get keys from Hannah.
Yeah.
He sees Natalia.
I think Ray is living in Adam's old apartment.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, oh, thanks, the apartment's working out great. He's like, and then Adam's like, oh, have you met the neighbor yet? Yeah.
Dude, Ray's not homeless anymore. He's employing everyone in this show, basically.
Yeah. And he might have fixed up Adam's place.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't look like what it looked like. But anyway. So then they see Natalia over there. And he is just trying to like not
he slinks away.
but
which
he's 8
is
feet
hilarious.
Tall. But he's 8 feet tall, so everyone sees him. So then and Amy Schumer is with her friend Amy Schumer, who I didn't even think they would be friends, but I guess they are friends enough.
Yeah.
Amy's like, oh no, you're coming over and you're talking to this guy. You're confronting him.
But Hannah's like, who is?
Hannah's like, who is?
He
that
slinks
girl?
away, but then you hear off screen like Adam, and he's just kind of like, no, I'm not Adam. It's fucking. Yeah. Then they both go and confront him, and this is like my favorite shit. I fucking love this scene, dude. They go up and confront Adam, and they're basically like, Natalia's basically. I don't know who starts. I think Amy Schumer does.
Amy Schumer comes in hot.
Yeah, Amy Schumer comes in hot. And she's like, look at what you did to this fucking woman, you piece of shit.
She calls him a donkey.
Tall donkey, mongrel. She's calling him all these names.
It's called the Neanderthal.
Yeah. She's like, this beautiful, wonderful soul, you just used her and fucked her like a piece of meat. Yeah. And you said that you loved her, and then you didn't call her back. And Adam's like, I'm sorry, I'm not good with confrontation.
Yeah. And he looks like a scolded puppy, for real. Like he looks, and I feel like he still has I don't think he wanted to hurt Natalia, but he couldn't be with Natalia.
Yeah.
And and then they go on. What did
they go on like a long insult rant, and it was amazing. And fucking the part that I loved the most about this scene is Ray is cracking the fuck
I wrote
up
that down.
In the background.
Ray is just enjoying this. He is smiling.
Dude, they're throwing insults at Adam, just rattling him off, and Ray is dying in the back. And that gave me such joy.
And Amy Schumer's character goes, well, she's pregnant. She's carrying your baby. And Adam has this look of he's shell-shocked. And my only thought was, how is that possible? He never finished in her.
Yeah.
That was my
we
first
saw
thought.
him come on her boobs. She hated it.
I was like, that's her thing.
That was one of her rules that you can't finish in her.
Yeah.
She said that I'm on birth control, but don't finish in me just to be safe.
Yeah, and I was just like, if she's pregnant, that's a magical.
Yeah. So Amy Schumer's like, and guess what? She's pregnant. You did this to her.
Yeah.
You did it with your cum. And it basically is just like, you did this. And then he's looking like, oh, what the fuck? This is awful. And then Natalia goes, I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
And Amy Schumer's just making that up.
Yeah.
And then Adam's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, this is so awesome. So awesome.
And then he's like, all right, let's go, Hannah. And she's like, Hannah? You're Hannah?
This is Hannah?
And
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the juxtaposition between Natalia and Hannah, it is stark, to say the least.
Even if Hannah was traditionally hotter than Natalia, the same looks would be said. The same look would happen. Like, yeah. Just another girl, doesn't matter. Like, they would just go in.
This is Hannah?
This is Hannah.
This is her?
She could be
like, it could be fucking Giselle Bundchen.
Yeah, they'd be like,
something.
oh, this tall bitch? This is Hannah? Like, they would just go in on her for something, like, you know.
And
Hannah, I do feel bad for Hannah in this situation.
Oh, me too. You know that she's like dying inside.
Oh, it was a great moment.
Herself.
It was a great moment when she first shows up and she goes, "You ruined this girl." And Hannah's like, "She looked pretty put together."
Yeah, she looks pretty put together. She's really pretty.
Yeah, because Natalia doesn't look like she's not like haggard. She doesn't have the like Marnie just broke up with Charlie and's in sweats or something. She's like just,
yeah.
But she is emotionally torn up, even though she's better off not being with Adam. Like, I know she got
100%.
I can't believe she was with them after
that, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe she was still with them after that one episode that frightened us away from him.
Yeah.
And then they just go in on Hannah and like, I hope you know what you're getting into. You're just gonna be fucked and used like an animal and like
you're gonna be called a slut and dirty for your cum rag for this guy.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot it everywhere.
Like confetti. I got it in my hair. I had to get a blowout after that.
Yeah. And I was just like, and the
and
only
Ray's still cracking up.
He is dude, this is his life. Normally he's the one yelling and making scenes. He's
I was gonna say at the beginning of this, it seemed like Natalia was reluctant to do this. And she didn't want to cause a scene.
She wouldn't have done it without the Amy Schumer character there.
So Amy Schumer's the first to go in on Adam. And then once she realizes who Hannah is, that's when Natalia's like, oh, guess what, bitch? And then Natalia goes in on it. It was so good.
Yeah. And I really thought this was going to be a really spiral Hannah episode. Like,
Me too.
She's lost it more with Elijah sleeping with Marnie than finding out all of this X stuff. Like, I thought that was going to break her. She has, like, stuff that she brings up about it in that one scene coming up. But it's not a Hannah goes crazy and starts stalking Natalia or, trying to do...
Yeah, that could easily be where this went.
Easily. But I guess she's medicated more. And I do love... I don't know what they last say when they walk off, but I do love that Ray's like, that blonde one, feisty. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that blonde one. She's feisty. I was like, good.
I was like, oh my God, we're going to have a Schumer Ray. Like, whatever keeps Ray in the story for me.
I know, Ray's got to stay in.
Yeah.
Ray's awesome.
I did not think I was going to like him early on.
I honestly, I laughed out loud watching this scene.
Yeah.
I was like grinning ear to ear because I saw Ray cracking up in the back, and the shit that Natalia and Amy Schumer were saying was so fucking funny. And the reactions from Ray, Hannah, and Adam were perfect.
Yeah, if you get all of these people together, which we don't do a lot of, or they didn't at the end of the second season, like when they're all together, it's interesting and fun.
This is peak Girls to me. This is great.
Yeah.
Like, it was a well-written scene. Everybody's acting good. It was great. I can't say it enough. I really enjoyed that scene. And it was like one of the first scenes in the episodes. I was like, this is a good episode so far.
This is what they do when they leave. They go, oh, and by the way, we're not paying.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, wait, Ray has nothing to do with this. The establishment has nothing to do with him, with Adam showing up.
Well, Hannah works there.
I guess Hannah does work there.
Yeah.
And Ray's just like, oh, don't worry, he's on the house.
It's also probably like only $7 lost or some shit.
Who knows? That coffee shop, it could be 12.
Who knows? It could be 12.
If they got a piece of avocado toast, break the
as
bank.
White women want to do.
Break the bank on that place.
Send it spiraling into debt.
Yeah, you gave away a piece of avocado toast. That's the whole mortgage.
This is a great scene.
Yeah, fun stuff.
So the next thing we see with Hannah is she's talking to the guy, I think his name is David, the book guy.
Oh,
her book boss.
Yeah.
They're at some kind of, it seems like a candy store or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's showing him the pages of her draft for her ebook. And he's like, I'm loving this. This is great. And I was like, good for fucking, this is awesome.
I was like, I'm happy they addressed that. See, she had that get out of jail with the mental breakdown, you know? Like,
but she didn't use it as an excuse like Jessa did.
She didn't use it as an excuse. And the guy was like, and the guy that I thought was such a jerk, like the bookseller guy, like he's such a eccentric character, I should say.
Yeah.
He's like, why didn't you tell me you were having this problem? And I was like, oh, you're like a human being. Like, you're not just like, I need my pages, books. I got to make money. I don't care if you're...
So J. Jonah Jameson, get me pictures of Spider-Man.
Get me pictures of the Spider-Man. Climb up a building.
Give me stories about your awkward sex.
Yeah. That is what that guy wants. The more awkward, the better. Oh, jerking off a Puerto Rican guy for his
jerking off a kidney stone out of a Puerto Rican guy or
something like that. And it was like, oh man, Hannah, what are you doing?
But yeah, this show, like you said, this showed a level of humanity to that guy, and he was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, we could have worked around that. Like, and then Hannah was like, I didn't want to seem weak, and I wanted to. And I was like, that's a perfect excuse. This all is making sense.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, she was using, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, the last episode when she just started calling all her friends and complaining and, like, leaving Jessa that voicemail and ripping Marnie and, like, hiding from Marnie when she had, like, I guess she doesn't want people to know about her mental illness, which is, like, fine. You know?
It makes sense.
Yeah, because, like, if you go to AA is supposed to be anonymous. Like, mental illness should be up to your discretion if you want to share. Yeah, you should be
afforded that same.
Yeah. So with that, I get, like, and she's doing the pages. He says the writing's good. I like that she's able to write now with her medication. So things are going. I like that she has that, you know. Yeah.
Progression.
Yeah. Like, and
she's
she's still working at the coffee shop. So she's got that job, and she's doing the writing thing. So like she's got Adam-ish.
Yeah, things are going well.
So it's going to go horribly wrong soon, but
something's going to happen. But he's like, we're going to launch the first chapter on this website, and she's like, go for it. And then they had a coffee mug that was made of chocolate.
He bites his cup, and like I think I was writing down a note, and he bites it. She goes, "Did you just bite your cup?"
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, wait, because he did crazy stuff before.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he really, did he just eat a brown cup?
Well, as soon as he took a bite out of it, I was like, oh, that must be chocolate.
Yeah.
And then she was like, did you just eat it? He's like, yeah, it's chocolate.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a pretty fucking great invention.
Yeah. I mean, it's Willy Wonka-esque. I wonder why she didn't notice it was chocolate.
Yeah, how do you not notice? How does the chocolate not melt?
It would be all over your hands.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's why I'm saying it's like an amazing invention.
Amazing invention. It's pretty easy to make.
Maybe it was a mocha.
If you just melt some chocolate and just shape it around something, you can have a cup.
No, but I'm saying if you have hot coffee and a chocolate, the chocolate would melt.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think they weren't drinking something hot.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Don't throw your coffee on people. Your coffee agenda, your hot beverages.
Hey, you know the only beverage I'm all about is Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, Taco Bell.
Paying by the announcement.
By the mention. So the next time we see Hannah, she's in therapy. And the last time we saw Hannah in therapy with this guy, she was not taking it seriously. She was just like, get me the fuck out of here. I'll say anything for you to tell my parents that I'm okay.
Yep.
But this time around, it seems like she's taking it seriously, which I was like, great, excellent. Fuck yeah, dude. She's taking it seriously. She's talking to him about like how she's feeling better because she's taking her medicine. And she's got Adam, and Adam takes care of her. And the guy kind of like starts asking and prodding about what Adam does.
Well, she says that Adam doesn't. She's like, oh, what do I stress about? She's like, money. Because like I still don't make enough, and like Adam doesn't. He helps with what he can, but he doesn't. He gets like money from his grandmother and whatever he makes selling paper mache.
Yeah, and the guy's like, what does he make out of paper mache? And she's like, I don't want to tell you.
Talk about it.
She's like, what?
He's like, is it important? She's like, it could be.
That made me feel like he's making dildos out of paper mache or something. I don't know.
He's not going to make any money selling paper mache. We always wonder what Adam did, and now we know it's nothing.
Yeah, he's not doing it.
His grandmother sent him money.
Yeah.
And then they start talking about chanting. Oh, she's like, how does he help you? He's like, he gives me medicine. He makes sure I take my medicine. He makes sure I'm eating protein. And he's like, good. And then he's like, and he does like the chant to calm me down. He chants to calm me down. And then the therapist is like, yeah, chanting, good. Yeah, I've chanted. I have some chants to get me through some. Like he's going into his.
What's your chant? And he's like, it's private.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's like such great acting for him to like just have this moment where he's like, you could see him reflecting on whatever it is that causes him to have the chant.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is his life now? Like,
I know, right? I think that was to show like therapists are also crazy or something.
Therapists are also people. No, therapists are also people with issues. Like,
yeah.
They're not like, they can't all be Jessa. They can't all be perfectly well-rounded people.
What I did like about this scene is Hannah calls Adam a non-traditional person, which is the best description of Adam.
Yeah,
because she's like,
he can't just do any job. Yeah,
yeah. When he was prodding about like, well, what does Adam do? Like, what's his deal? And she's like, well, he doesn't really have a traditional job because he's not a traditional person. Yeah, I was like, that's so true.
Yeah. I mean, look at us. We're not traditional.
I know. We're the best.
We're better than Adam.
Yeah.
At times. Most of the time.
So that basically wraps up the therapy scene.
But it's good. She's going to therapy. She's on medication.
I wrote the fall in therapy, taking it seriously, man.
The fall is going to be hard.
It seems like, she's progressing. This is good, Next time we see them, it's Adam and her at the apartment, and she's like being like, do you think 12 tacos is enough for 4 people? Like, how do you think? And then Adam just basically is like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to hang out with your friends.
Oh, I love it. I loved it.
Yeah. And she's like, what are you talking about? You said that you wanted to do this. He's like, yeah, that was last week. I thought that this wasn't actually going to happen because everybody always bails on you or you always bail on people. And she's like, I don't bail on people. People bail on me. And he goes, well, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that somebody would bail on you. And then somehow it gets around to, he says something like, I don't make you hang out with my friends. And Hannah goes, because you don't have any friends. Yeah. And then Adam just kind of slinks away and is like, that was kind of rude.
Yeah. But then she's this is where she brings up the Natalia thing, where she's talking about how she's trying to like, Natalia accused her of like not knowing Adam, basically. Or like, do you even know the person that you're with kind of thing? And she's like, hey, I want you to like, you're part of my life now. I want you to be a part of everything I do. Like, and that involves hanging out with my friends. And so that's like, instead of going like crazy extreme and being like, oh, now we need to like plan a vacation together. Like real, like she's not doing like, oh, what do couples, she didn't Google, what do couples do? And then try to make them do a list of 10 things. Cause that's something I could see her trying to do. But healthier Hannah seems like she's taking it small steps. And Adam goes, I'm not going to change, like who I am. And she says, well, we're in a relationship and that's kind of what has to happen. You have to meet people halfway. And he's like, all right, whatever. Like he just shrugs it off. And you're like, oof, here comes the next domino that falls in this situation. Because Adam isn't changing. No, he's not. The reason he's with her right now is because he would not change to be with Natalia. Who, by all measures, Natalia seemed like a fine and decent person. Well, I think that Adam is capable of change, but like that's far too extreme of a change for him. Yeah. Like he needs someone to recognize that he is, as Hannah said, a non-traditional person and accept him for that. Well, that's the bond between them. They both accept each other's flaws. Yeah. And that's really what a relationship is just accepting each other. Yeah, and you work on them together. Yeah.
and try to be better people together.
Yeah, as long as a person's flaws don't drive you over the edge, then that's that's really what it is.
Yeah. So now we're into the big dinner party scene,
which I thought was going to have, for some reason I thought it would be more than just Marnie, Shoshanna, Hannah, and Adam. For some reason I thought some other people would be there, but I guess it's just the four
Honestly,
of them.
I was waiting for Charlie to show up just like randomly. But thank God he did not. Spoiler alert, he did not.
This scene opens just great. I loved it. It's just a close-up of Adam listening to Shoshanna go on about
ramble.
She's like, I went back to that scene just like because I wasn't paying attention at all to what she said, and it's not even long. But I went back and she's talking about being sexually adventurous and balancing that with her academics so that she can have it both and be well-rounded when she graduates. Yeah. And just hearing all of that while Adam just stares at her blankly. Yeah,
Adam's just staring at her like, I fucking can't listen to this anymore.
And they're like, oh, this is a good plan. I think Hannah's like, this is great. I think that's really well thought out. What do you think, Adam? I think what you think, babe.
Yeah. Perfect. I think whatever you think, babe. Yeah. I was like, yes.
And then we get Marnie. Oh, Marnie.
Marnie spiraling some more.
Jeez. What does she start? I don't know how she starts
this. This is how she starts it off with. After Adam goes, I think whatever you think. Marnie goes, yeah, I think that's a great plan. I think that you shouldn't worry about having love and loving feelings, and you should just close yourself off to the world, basically.
Yeah, and Adam's like, rough.
Adam goes, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. And then Marnie goes, yeah, you're right.
And then she's just complaining. She is just so broken up by Charlie. I just can't. I wrote down, I can't in my notes. Like, I can't with this.
Dude,
I can't with this again.
This episode.
I know.
I love this episode.
I just can't with her pining over Charlie anymore. I'm just so over it. So over it. And
so she starts like rambling about how she can't believe like that Charlie broke up with her again, and she doesn't understand what happened. That one day they were just making pizza and they had all the ingredients, and then they were making pizza, and then he just left and never talked to her again. And I was like, God damn, Charlie.
I'm like, what Charlie is that? That's not the Charlie we've seen ever.
No.
Not the same Charlie that chased up to a rooftop with his girlfriend.
Or it is the Charlie that's spineless and doesn't confront her about like not wanting to be with her.
So who's worse, Adam treating of Natalia or Charlie's treating of Marnie?
Charlie's treating of Marnie, I think. Because Natalia knew that it wasn't going to work with Adam after that time that he had sex with her.
She should have.
Yeah.
She should have walked away. That should have been the green light to get out of it.
But she should have known that things were on the rocks. It seems like Charlie just up and left while things were good in Marnie's mind.
I don't think they ever have been good, though. But whatever. Yeah, I can't argue either or.
Yeah. Well, we didn't actually get to see what happened with Charlie.
Yeah.
Which
and this show doesn't do flashbacks that often. We've only had one.
Yeah, that one where they were like in the
It was when she
80s party or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was how she met Charlie.
Galactic safe sex or whatever.
Where he thought she was in a porno or something.
Yeah.
My
so
God.
Dumb.
So Adam spills that he saw Charlie.
Yep.
And Hannah's like, and then Marnie looks over at Hannah. You knew about this? And Hannah's like, right. No, I didn't know that he saw him on Bedford Avenue.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then it's like, what did he say? He's like, oh, he asked about you? What? He asked about me? And they were
No. He said that it's like, it seems like he's doing good. It seems like he's doing fine. And then Marnie goes, did he ask about me? And then he goes, yeah, sure.
No.
and then she's like, what did you tell him? He goes, I told him that you're doing great. And you have Hannah says something like, he told him that you have a hot Cuban boyfriend now or some shit.
Yeah, you're doing great. And then she's like, wait, does he have a girlfriend now?
She goes, does it seem like he has a girlfriend? And then it was just silence. And then she just kind of starts crying.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, it's not about this. It's about your book, Hannah. Like, we're here to celebrate that. And then Hannah, being a bigger person than she ever has, was like, oh, no, it's no. My book is nothing. We don't have to talk about my, like, amazing...
My exciting career advancement.
Yeah. Which is like, you know, this is what Marnie does. Like,
yep.
She's having a dinner party. She's got some good news. And, like, Marnie's just taking it over with, like, this Charlie thing. It's like, come on, like,
yeah, grow up, get over it.
Like, you can be beat up by it, but like, don't bring down the whole dinner party because you heard him. Like, I don't know. I'm just so over her Charlie.
Yeah, I'm over her and Charlie too. Get Booth Jonathan back.
And then she's like, oh, these tacos are so good, and she goes to take a bite out of it, and then just like spits it all out. How does that work for Joe's food phobias?
I thought that was pretty funny, actually.
Okay.
She's like spits it out and then she just goes, I'm sorry.
I'm like, geez, Marnie.
Yeah. So then after that, Adam does like an incredible job of relating to Marnie and telling a story about how he was devastated by an ex and how he's comforting her so well within his own Adam way.
Yeah.
And he's I don't really remember the details of the story, but he's basically like, I had an ex that fucked me up and it was like all I could think about, but I didn't really know her or what. So, do you know more?
I don't remember the full details of the story.
The gist of the story was like, once you know that you're supposed to be with someone, you'll know because you'll know that person fully.
Yeah.
And not just like this idea of them, which is what you're thinking of with Charlie. All you're thinking about now is like the good times and all, but like you don't recognize like there were bad times and you didn't really know much about him and blah 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 blah.
Well, which
I thought was great.
Yeah, and this is what Adam's done the first time she had to break up and she's in sweats and he's like, "What do you like?" And she's like, "I like reading." You know, when he tried to like relate to her before.
Yeah.
When he was like, "No, don't minimize her hurt." You know.
Yeah.
The thing is like, I feel like I'm like this sometimes too, where like he can relate to people and like be really helpful in that situation. He just doesn't like to do it.
Yep.
Like
he doesn't like it being forced upon him.
Yes.
He'll give like amazing advice with like a here's what you need to do.
yeah, but he doesn't want to have to do it. Also, this leaned a little bit into my overall prediction of him and Marnie hooking up. They were getting close.
Marnie started to look at him like, thanks, Adam.
She looked at him a little different there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, maybe Vance is right.
Oh my God, I can't wait. If that happens, that podcast is going to be...
I know. It's just going to be an hour and a half of Vance going, I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so.
Yeah, you laughed at me, Joe, but I stuck with it.
She did give him a very, like, you're so sweet look.
And she does not care enough about Hannah to not do it.
No, she does not.
And the amount of drama that would happen if that happened
would be perfect for this show.
You know, it would take Marnie getting him drunk.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the circumstances that would have to happen for Adam to do that.
I can't see Adam or Ray doing that with her.
Maybe they have a three-way.
Oh, no. Because Marnie would not want to do that with Hannah.
She made out with Jessa?
Yeah, but she would not do that with Hannah.
All right. That's true.
She made out with Jessa after they were making fun of Hannah.
That's very true. That's very true. So... that basically wraps up Marnie's whole story now.
That kind of wraps it all up since we already touched on the ending. I mean, is there any more in that ending scene that you want to talk about?
Yeah, Hannah and Adam are banging, and then she thanks him for basically being nice to her friends. And he's like, yeah, no problem, but I don't want to see your friends for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then she gets the call from Jessa, and that wraps up the episode.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see this little road trip that's about to happen.
I know. I'm with you. But that overall, I love this episode. A lot of stuff happened. There's progression.
It's not my favorite overall, but it's not a bad episode. It's you know, it's easy to watch, and it didn't make me feel cringy.
Yes. The last couple episodes of season 2 were hard to watch for me. It just something about it made me depressed, and I was like,
Adam's sexual abuse and Hannah's mental illness leading her to be even like a worse person to people around her. Yeah.
This one had like shit going on. Are we doing likability rankings for the opening of season 3?
We can really quickly.
All right, Shoshanna's number 1.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
She's number 1 for me. Hannah's number 2.
Hannah's number 2. Me. Yep, doing fine.
Marnie's number 3.
Marnie's number 3.
Jessa's number 4.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. I was gonna see about toggling. I was gonna see about toggling Marnie and Jessa, but Marnie's just hurt. She's not hurting nobody. Yeah. Jessa's being.
Jessa's being the worst.
Yeah.
Again. Can't believe my sister enjoys that character.
So we're back. So we're back to status quo, man.
Yeah, the girls are back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's season 3, episode 1, females only. Stay tuned for next week's episode. It's titled Truth or Dare.
Oh no. Oh no.
We'll have to see what that's all about next time on Boys Watching Girls. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.